Another important current affair. That's why I told you in the beginning itself. If you are lucky, at least 3 or 4 questions will come from this particular session itself. So be very thorough with it. I'm telling you, it very simple, okay. UPSC how to ask from external sector and money and banking. They have to ask because this is the most important current affair. These are the prominent current affair, okay. But don't tell me, sir, I was knowing I made it wrong. Then it's better. If you are going to make it wrong, then don't study that topic. So when you study it, be thorough with it. What is that particular core topic? That's the reason why I'm telling again and again and again, read the news articles, okay. Learning, understanding, more than that, when you read a news article, that only will help you to make it 100% correct in relation to economics. I'm not asking you to read all the article which I have shared. Okay, now regarding GSP. Now already, one of the, regarding the external sector, okay, this is one, any external sector related question, okay, try, even if you don't know, try to attempt with your, these knowledge. Now there is a trade war going on, and you know what is the Trump policy. Trump policy is a protectionist policy. We discussed, Trump is following Trump started this protectionist policy and many other countries is following it. Okay, so as part of this protectionist policy, Trump have increased the import duty to US to steel, aluminum products. We have seen that resulting in trade war. Now, India, see, this is one area where India and US are strategic partners. But at the same time, in certain area, India and US are big enemies. When we fight each other like anything, especially in regarding external sector, regarding WTO, regarding trade. Okay, so we have seen that actually this has worsened, especially during the Trump tenure. Trump have taken many initiatives, many steps which created a bad relation in regarding India-US trade. Okay, you might have seen that regarding service sector, he has made H-1B visa stringent, making Indian professionals traveling to US, especially IT professionals, been affected, and thereby our export potential have been less compared to the normal years. So that is against mode 4. So because of that, mode 4 can be a new WTO mode 4. Okay, then you had seen that in regarding the India WTO dispute, regarding agreement on agriculture, US stand on India. We discussed that. Now another issue is recently, in the last 1 year, Trump is telling, or the US administration is telling to India that we want greater market access. Who want greater market access? US want greater market access to India, especially in agriculture and other related field. Okay, so as part of it, and the background of this topic is, you need to understand that regarding India-US trade, in India-US trade, India is having current account surplus, or India is having trade surplus with the US. So in our India-US bilateral trade, this is very, and the surplus is around 20 billion. It's a big surplus. India is having a current account surplus of around 20 billion. And the US want to reduce it. Like the way India complaining to China that with India, China or India is having a current account deficit, huge current account deficit or huge trade deficit. You know what is trade and current account, na? Okay, so in order to bridge this current account deficit, means this current account surplus India has, US want greater market access to India, but India was resistant. For example, one of the common demand is Trump want is Harley Davidson import duty to be nil. Okay, but the government have already brought it down from 100%, it have brought down to 50%, but he's still not happy. And recently, regarding the medical devices, regarding this cardiac kick stent and certain medical devices, India have made a cap on the prices. on certain medical devices and which has affected US multinational companies. So US is not happy with that issue also. And so that's the reason why earlier, because of this GSP issue, there was another issue US have taken up, that India have been put under currency manipulator list. India have been called, but now US have withdrawn because Indian rupee have depreciated, and that's the reason why in 2017 that was the issue. But again, to label a particular currency, a country, currency as a means current country a currency manipulator, one condition was this trade current account surplus. So this India qualified that current account surplus of 20 billion. Okay, that you please connect it. But the important topic is GSP. Okay, now what the US government have said is that we are going to remove India from a very important trade preference scheme, which was initiated by US, what is called as Generalized System of Preferences. See, US have not withdrawn. US, what US said? US is going to withdraw in another 2 months, okay? Like in the case of India retaliated. See, US, when the US have increased the steel and aluminium import duty, India retaliated by increasing import duty of certain US products. But it has not come into force, because India is going for a renegotiation. Because this is all diplomacy regarding trade diplomacy, okay? So maybe the new government will go and deal with this particular issue regarding this India-US trade relation. India-US is a very important trade partner for India. You can understand regarding this trade or the current account surplus we are having. Okay, so you can say that to maintain this relationship, so what actually this is, these are the pressure tactic used by the US government to get more market access to US products to India. So since GSP was in news, you need to know what is this GSP is all about. Okay, so its key thing is about US government way back in 1976 onwards have implemented this scheme, this is a trade preference scheme of US government to developing countries only. Very important. This is a trade preference scheme given by the US government to whom? To developing countries. And it is this qualify under exemptions which we have studied under MFN status. Again, MFN will discuss. So that time you can connect GSP with MFN. There is a relationship between GSP and most favored nation. We will discuss it. Okay. So what is the issue is that the government, see, it's only I am telling that it's a threat that, so if the US implement or if the US withdraw this, see, the key thing is that US used to provide duty-free concession. Means to certain products from the developing countries, there are around nearly 4,000 products where US import duty is nil from these developing countries, and India used to be one of those countries, and India was the largest, this is a very important thing, okay? In the US trade preference scheme, that is generalized system of preferences, India is the biggest beneficiary. Reason being, the US, if you go by the factual information, we'll discuss that, okay? The around 20 billion trade, see, as per the US data, latest data, it is saying that under this scheme, US is trading with the value of 20 billion. Under this scheme, the US, this duty-free concession given under the scheme, the trade between US and other countries, 20 billion. Out of that 20 billion, 5 billion have been used by India. It means that 25% of this scheme for the entire developing world is utilized by India. So once India is removed from this scheme, our 5 billion exports also will get affected. So that's the reason why certain sectors like handloom, agriculture sectors of India will get affected the most. So India will try to renegotiate it. India want. So when US said that India will be removed from this list, not only India, and one more country was there, that also Turkey. India and Turkey are the two countries where the US said that we are going to remove from this. So the US is not withdrawing the scheme. What the news? US is going to remove India and Turkey from this trade preference scheme given to developing countries. It is a duty free to US market. Okay. Now, the reason why the US is rolling back this particular scheme is saying that India is not providing equitable market access to American business. So this process started in 2018 by the US trade representative. He is like our commerce minister. US trade representative is equivalent to the commerce minister. Now regarding the GSP, it is the largest and the oldest US trade preference program mainly given to developing country for their economic growth. Okay. So under this scheme, there are around 4,800 products and the beneficiaries are around 129 developing countries, including India. And this started, means US is providing this scheme. Why it is called oldest? Because it is there from 1976 onwards. And the major law which supplement is the US Trade Act of 1974. These are important points, please note down. Okay. So under this law, from 2013 onwards, they are periodically revising the beneficiary and the items under this particular scheme. So in the latest revision only, that India and Turkey may lose this status. We don't know the exact figure that will, but whatever it is, since it was a major news, you need to know about what is this scheme and how it is going to impact India. Okay. Now very important thing is that this is a type of exemption provided under MFN principle. Okay. So we have seen that the the WTO principle, one of the most important WTO principle is most favored nation principle, where a member country have to treat equally all other member country. But actually this scheme is giving a preference for developing countries. But under the exemptions of MFN principle, we have studied that one is free trade agreement is one exemption. Another exemption is that to support developing country and their growth, any scheme is there. So that under that qualification GSP comes under. So connect it. And we already discussed India is the largest beneficiary. How India is the largest beneficiary? Again, factual information, but very important information. Okay. So presently, as per the latest data, that the total GSP imports to US, the word is very important. Okay. Under this scheme, the total imports is coming around, it's not there in the material, please write down. See the total, see they will not ask you exact figure, but if you have an idea, you can answer it. The total GSP imports is around 20 billion. But how much India is exporting under this scheme? 5.6 billion. Okay. So this is the total India's exports to US in 2017. In 2017, as per the latest data available, the total exports from India to US is 45.2 billion. Out of this 45.2 billion, 5.6 billion, almost 11% of the exports, India's total exports to US comes under the GSP scheme. And again, you need to have an idea, India is having a trade surplus of, okay. India is having a trade surplus of 22 billion or 22.9 billion with US in 2017. Again a fact. So they can confuse you by saying that India is having a trade deficit with US. That statement alone will help you to eliminate any tough question. This point may come because of, they will not directly ask GSP, but they will ask this statement. So this is a very core statement. With US, India is having trade deficit. Sorry, India is having trade surplus. Naturally, if India is having trade surplus, what will happen to the current account? Current account will also be in surplus.